Hello everybody, Jet here, and welcome to a new playthrough here in Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, where, well, if you remember, I've played the alpha and the beta. This is the final relaunched version of the game, so we are starting a brand new playthrough, guys. Yeah, without further ado, let's jump into my character creation. Obviously, this is just a blurb on what we are and where we are. We're part of the Valancius dynasty. We'll find out more about that in-game. Difficulty, we are going to leave on normal. I may cry. It's a hard game, guys. And I could just use one of these, but I'm going to create my own character, guys. I have already worked out what I'm doing. I may do a video on all the character creation. I kind of did that in alpha, guys. It has updated a bit, but there's an awful lot to do here. I could literally spend 2 or 3 hours looking through all of this, because I just did. And yeah, there's a huge amount of options. So I'm going for this portrait just because I think it looks cool. And yeah, actually, appearance, that's not bad. Weirdly, even though it's got an eye, you can't put one. There isn't that augmentation. We're going to go for the pragmatic female voice. I really should check my audio to see how well you can hear that, but yeah. We are going to go for, there's various different, obviously, homeworld. Which one was it I was going for? I mean, this Voidborn is always good for the bonuses it gives you. But I think we're going for the character I'm trying to build, we're going to go for a fortress world, because it gives us never stop shooting. So each time a fortress world character kills an enemy, they gain a +10 stack of never stop shooting at the start of their turn. There is a percentage chance of the next shot will cost no AP. We also get some really good things like a hail of steel, which just gives various buffs. Spare magazine, first reload is free, and gains more never stop shooting. Never stop believing. When all stacks never stop shooting, they become willpower, half willpower stacks instead. At the end of a turn, fortress world character gain stacks of never stop equal to half the minimum damage. So yeah, basically lots of things just to keep us going, and yeah, +7 to ballistic skill, perception. But other things are reduced, unfortunately, but just stuff to keep us going in a fight. And the reason I'm going, so you can probably tell the type of character I'm going for already from this. It's going to be a soldier, guys. Well, gonna be. I could go down the archer militant commander, but I'm not a fan. You know, this isn't bad, but I don't like things which rely on adjacency. So we are going to be a commissar. So it gives us a bit of weapon skill as well, and it's good to have a balance between weapon skill and ballistic skill, because you do end up in both, and this gives us at all costs. The commissar's next shot, single shot or single target melee attack applies the following effects. They become marked. Any ally who kills them gains various buffs. So just some nice buffs. I was tempted by Crime Lord for this lovely all sorts of things, but no, commissar fits the character I'm trying to make. And you know, we gain some other nice buffs, and we get some other bits and pieces which, you know, we'll look at more in game. But I mean, I guess it is more of a, you see, I'm already contemplating changing things, guys, because these are more about buffs. Killing the marked enemy. Anytime it goes over movement points to any character, gain +2 movement points. While the commissar's ally is under the effects of at all costs. I guess they're not the worst, so it's not the best, it's not the worst. I mean, Crime Lord is always fun. It's what it was last time. Imperial survivors prosper. It does give us weapon skill still. I'm debating whether I want to change. I think I'm going to change what I decided, guys. Go for what we always went for last time, which is a bit boring, but you know, we gain int stack bonuses of Sure Player Plan at the start of combat. The activation ability consumes 1 stack and makes the next action stronger. Yeah, Crime Lord attacks, they deal extra damage. The Crime Lord moves, they gain dodge and parry. So, can be used multiple times per turn. No, I'm going to go for Commissar. It's what I wanted. It fits the character. See, this is how I'm really bad, guys. I'm really, you know, umming and ahhing. So this is the Triumph, something I did which was triumphant in my thing. So we've got Apex of Brilliance, Illustrious Glory, and Feat of Greatness. So Heroic Attack, we're a synonym for Loyalty and Valor, or Apex of Brilliance. We played a key role in exposing a conspiracy amongst my superiors, which I think is what we're going to go for, because it's kind of a Darkest Hour one. So we've got the Grim Prophets, the souls of all who perish in the blue defense will haunt your nightmares, lowers my awareness. Brand of Shame, I was falsely accused of cowardice and were forced to suffer for a haunting tribunal. And Shadow of Torment, you know, we were crippled. But I'm going to go for this, because basically my headcanon is we were accused of cowardice and we had to fight for a humiliating tribunal. But by doing so, we exposed a conspiracy among my superiors in the Astra Militarum who were trying to blame me for what they were doing. So it's given me a buff to my logic, but it's left scars on my persuasion because other people know of it, and I've always been eyed with a bit of a skepticism since. We are going to go for Soldier here, so it is about shoot, obviously, which I think fits. We do get access to other things later, and you can see by clicking over them, you can see where we go. You know, where you can go through these. Operative is nice. But I'm going to go through... Operative is single shot. Master of a single shot. But you get people who do that already. Soldier is pew pew pew. And I think it fits better. I like Operative. But, I mean, it could have changed, but I found it didn't work as well. So we're going to try... And I've already done it in the Alpha and the Beta. So we're going to try Soldier this time. Yep, there we go. So obviously we want to up my weapon skill to at least 40. Probably up my ballistic skill to 40. Perception, disguise how well the character perceives the surroundings, which I assume is something I want to be high. Willpower. This is Warhammer 40k. You need willpower. I'm not even going to explain this one, guys. If you don't know 40k, I mean, obviously this tells you all about it, but yeah. And toughness is my wounds. So toughness defines how easily you shrug off injuries, and you know, and resist toxins and poisons. So that's a no-brainer. And basically, the real question is, what do I put the other one? Do I just chuck it into thingy, or do I up my fellowship? You know what? I am going to up my fellowship by 1 as well. So we're fairly well rounded. I don't think I can up my ballistics. I could up my weapon skill by 1 more. Basically, I can up these by 2 at this. Up a maximum of 2 at this point. Upping my weapon skill. My weapon skill's not bad. I'm very tempted to up my toughness, though, to make me that bit chonker. No, I'm going to leave that. I am going to go for Fellowship, because we're not going to be a frontline character, so toughness isn't as important. But it's still important. It does up my Koros. But I'm tempted to up my Fellowship a bit more. I'm umming and ahhing here, guys. Too much. I say I've decided. I'm going to up my toughness. Extra health is always useful. Keep me in the fight, basically. So our frigate is called the Ronin. My name is not Rogue Trader, it is Jet. Jetar, the illustrious Rogue Trader, Jetar, or we will be eventually. So there we go, there is our character. I've not messed with the look or anything too much, guys, and we will obviously have some fun. I'm going to have fun making a thumbnail from this because I'm going to have to cut the character out, but I'm fairly sure we can do that. Anyway, let's do this. I'm really looking forward. I'm really enjoying being able to play this game again, because in the alpha and beta, guys, this game was exceptionally fun to play, and if it's kept that in it, I mean, it will have improved it. One would hope. It is going to be exceptional. I'm going to be honest. I'm more excited to be playing this than I was for Baldur's Gate 3. So that tells you my opinion, anyway. I missed the bit which said press any key.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral.
Sorry, I feel like I'm going to sneeze in a second, so that's why I stopped a second.
An impeccable manifestation of the
Conrad,
sublimity.
an excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity. I think he did say it, but it was really quite quiet. Do you have some particular reason for disturbing me?
My apologies. I do not seek you out to pester you with unwanted attention.
So hearsay, I don't know if you can actually hear that. Sorry, guys.
Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voidfear, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valancius, at your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
Divisional Commissar of the Officio Prefectus Jet R. Xenophor? Xenophor, apparently that's my name. My name is Jetar.
My regards, mistress. Or should I say, von Valancius, scion of a blessed rogue trader house in the service of the Imperium. Perhaps this kinship came as a shock to you, understandably so, given that all evidence of the connection was lost in the generations separating you and Lord Captain Theodora. It required no small effort on the part of a lady.
1 second, sorry. Voice volume, whack that right up so you can actually hear.
Servants to discover and verify this blood tie, which has now made you one of the heirs of this dynasty.
Okay, I assure you, I assume you had some gold in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord's Captain and Master Edelthrad von Valancius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
I know how to know to say Edelfrad's name, and I've definitely been saying it wrong. I'm just gonna up the sound slightly more. Sorry, I should have done this beforehand. The issue is, it also affects... Oh, that didn't work. It also affects the sound in combat, guys. So sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain. So there might be a lot of sound tweaking going on in this playthrough, for which I do apologise.
I always have a backup plan.
Interactables. Yep. You can hold tab to highlight them. I see you raise the head again.
I always keep my options open.
We'll see how this sounds once. This is the paranoid bit when I'm recording, guys, where I'm always like, is my audio right? Is my audio right?
Keep your
Especially as
wits
I've
about
spent
you.
so long already setting up my character.
One of the Von Valancius trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
Oh dear.
Run! The servitors have gone berserk!
Your demise is already calculated.
So I can usually move my position here, but I can't on this one. So we can hit start battle. Just so you're aware, guys, I'm quite dyslexic, so when it does come to bits I've got to read, I may fall over myself a bit. I do apologise for that, and I hope you bear with me. Feel free to be grotty about it in chat. So, movement is fairly simple. We've got movement points we can use here. Oh, I don't have much at the moment, and obviously if I can move up to there, this is my action points, which I can do for things like shooting, or using my abilities. A run and gun, you know, gains extra movement points. Their next attack costs negative, so stuff like that. We are going to straight away use my ability. And then we are going to shoot them with my pistol.
I'll make it happen.
Pew! Run and gun
Calculated risk
has the
is my
benefit
second nature.
of it also lets me gives me an extra attack. Yep, so this is telling us all about attack points. Here we go. Actually, the Commissar would do quite well as an operative because that's a single target buff, but I can only use it once per combat, so. No! The poor sailor.
On it.
Good.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
We'll see.
I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
Okay.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
I can't loot anybody yet. No, I don't have anything.
Let us not dawdle.
So let's go find Lady Theodora. Oh, we're not getting order for Edelfrad. That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide, practically an admission of heresy. Theodora, a tall, grey-haired woman, pins him with her gaze, her cybernetic eye flashing crimson. Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation, no worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Aeon 6, Edelfrad? Listen in silence. I want to hear everything which is going on. While you are considering your answer, Edelfrad, I wish to speak with someone else. Perhaps I shall hear something more interesting than incoherent mumbling. Approach! Edelfrad, what is this? Is it someone from your retinue, Theodora? Do you permit your people to interrupt your conversations in such a fashion? I'm sure I just changed his voice massively. I give that permission to those with something of substance to say. Let us see if it is worth it. She tilts her head. This is Jetar, the second candidate for title of my successor. Step forward, Jetar. Passive skill tests. So yeah, as we get things. Consider this hypothetical situation. Aeon 6, a new world on the fringes of the Koronus Expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore instructors have failed for the second time. Mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure? Those spirits could well be the natives' name for dangerous aliens. I would verify this is indeed the case first. Ways to confirm whether what's happening is witchcraft or not. As a former commissar, I would continue sending more people, one crew after another, until someone says here. Reports of spirits sound like evidence of heresy. Yeah, I'd go for the Xeno one. Could be Xeno worship. Reasonable and prudent. However, chasing after ethereal creatures may prove a rather long and fruitless endeavour. Apart from Xenos, an untrodden planet might be teeming with a myriad of horrors that are far more dangerous and difficult to eradicate. I suspect that you, Jetar, are simply unaware of their existence. We are both servants of a god emperor, Lady Theodora. Does it become us to engage in such petty feuds? I gave a straight answer to a simple question, which I understand is more than you could do, Edelfrad. The colour drains from his face, which distorts his features further. Insolent! Ignorant upstart! How dare you! Edelfrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me, then, why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officers' decks instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview. I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me. I entirely forgot. I think he might be a bit of a suck-up. How... Jetar, So why are you here? Was it not you sent for me? You have ceded the opening that was offered to you in a woeful display of meekness. Admittedly, this tendency is equally strong in all who toil in the Emperor's service. Immutable hierarchy, absolute obedience, lick-splittery, compulsion to please. I value none of these things. From the moment my envoys came to you, the terms of your existence changed. My name is Theodora von Valancius, Massimo of Scarus. I am a rogue trader. So if I scroll over this, guys, it gives me more information, if you do want it. In the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And by rights and freedoms are vindicated by the most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this vessel. Mine is the honour to venture into the darkness beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign and bode death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, peoples, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you, Jetar, are one of those with the von Valancius blood in their veins, and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes. I am ready to take on this sacred purpose. Very military and commissary of me. Oh yes, you would be, wouldn't you? The question is, am I ready to choose you over the rest? You came aboard hours before the warp jump, and have not yet distinguished yourself in any way. As things currently stand, I have doubts that you are suitable for the role of rogue trader. Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honour of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful, if not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Conrad Vortgevir, however I say his goddamn name, served me for many years before he made his mistake. The Master of Whispers is related to you. His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, he can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Vortgvir's performance is currently, in his current role, is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least. Answer my questions. The Vox affixed to Theodora's attire suddenly comes to life. I have some time before the navigator gives the initiate. There. I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the voidship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge. There was an incident where thieves went berserk. Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless. Abelard. Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumours spread about by uneducated riffraff. Enough, Abelard. Such hearsays amuse me. Idara eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. She turns to you. This ship is 1,000 years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, so effectively their version of computers. Not quite the same. Oh, if I expand, does it give me more information? No. And unused compartments to make ignorant folk speak of spectres dwelling inside the bulkheads. What are my current responsibilities? Observe, learn, absorb. I will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new possession. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you, and I did for Edelfrad, until the time comes. Consider yourself my aide. I have no more questions. In that case, I shall head to. The Vox awakens once more. Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. She glanced at you. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated. Okay, here we go. Heretics! To attack a rogue trader, they must be.
I'll make an example out of you!
So initiative, order people go in. Again, eventually I'll be able to change my start position, but... There's a lot of them.
Reduced to dust.
However, yeah. So yeah, we can use things as cover, like this, or like this. This is only half cover, however, but let's get into cover.
Don't let your guard down. I'll see to it personally.
Daft as it sounds, I'm going to hit run and gun. We landed a critical hit. Deals increased damage.
It's as good as done.
So I used run and gun, then didn't move
never
simply
stood
because
a
it gave me an extra shot. I believe there's a way of speeding up the enemy turns, but I can't remember the other turns, but I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up. If you can if you know what it is, guys, let me know down in the comments. Positive effect. Your character has received a temporary positive effect. So you see them unlikely to hit. Let's move forwards to see if we can get a better position. That is somewhat annoying. Oh, we've gained some never stop shooting stacks, of course.
On it.
The thing about this is it gives me a chance of getting an extra shot. So I've got 21% chance of... Yeah, of it not costing towards the attack limit, which would be cool. Didn't go off, but... and we are now stood right out of cover. Shoot me rather than the lady. Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single Horson survive. She turns her eyes to you. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst into the deck. Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel. So the warp is what you travel through. There's some more information. The incident of rampaging servitors may be connected. Possibly. Quite likely. We will investigate at a later time. Right now we need to isolate the affected compartments. Orders! Mort has gone ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the arch-militant requires aid. And be quick about it. So my journal is to follow the arch-militant. Oh, still no looty loots.
I always have a backup plan.
Have I gone the wrong way? Yes, I have. So, I'm saving.
I always keep my
For
options
reasons.
open.
F5 is autosave, by the way, guys. So, Conrad Vodka. Thank you. Thank Providence, you are alive and well. Always on time. Conrad, the moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it. I don't know why I've done this voice. Mort, pull yourself together. What? Looks back at you. What? Did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We are all done here. I'll report it right away. He pulls his vox from his belt hurriedly and reports the situation. Definitely not looking at my phone because my son woke up inside, but it's all dealt with. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Vox net is silent. The Vox Master is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Why did I do a voice where all the S's are extenuated when I'm recording? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report. I have not received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gellerfield failures, but communicators were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and only voxcasts from the lower bays. And the only voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. The madmen have already reached the officer's deck. Suggests this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. Who would attempt a mutiny here in the warp? Lunatics. Fools. Heretics. This ship houses thousands upon thousands of people. Pernicious thoughts and warp-induced delusions could have tainted any one of them. It is a difficult notion to accept, but such risks are unescapable. It is a terrifying thing. So, warp ships, spaceships in 40k are immense things, miles and miles long, with tens and tens, hundreds of thousands of people on some of the big ones. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once. Her expression changes. Her eyes flash ominously. Edelfrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by warp power could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movement was that he had arrived at Transitional Deck 18. Blast it. Master of Whispers, find Edelfrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlass and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Archmilitant, with me. I must go to my study. It appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Jetar, glance at you thoughtfully. If I may, Lord Captain, Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of a disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelfrad back, I could use some support. After all, I am not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed Archmilitant, and taking into consideration Edelfrad's psychic powers. Yay! I get to go with Vodgiver, I think. Then it's settled. Jetar, find Edelfrad and bring him here, in whatever state you find him. This elevator, she points to the massive doors, leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? I shall do everything in my power. Not everything in your power. You will do as I say. I will have your heads if you fail. Is that clear? Then move out. Mort, come. Treating him like a dog. Are you ready to head to 18? It's a long walk. And you do not even have the proper gear. I shall make do. Lead the way. Of course you will. He rummages in his pocket for something. Lady Fedora would never have someone she could rely on as one of her heirs. But that is no longer relevant. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by an unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. Oh! A sudden but inevitable betrayal! I promised you a special destiny, Jetar. It is time to fulfill it.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. She has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warrant Chamber, and for that, I need her breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
You two-faced scum! You were the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your... You have the option to share it voluntarily or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the Warring Chamber, this voidship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
What is it, inbred? Your blood too thin?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, fond Valancius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
Coercion? What a pathetic excuse do you even have for your apostasy, your sordid, wretched piece of grog shit!
Wretched? What do you know about wretchedness? Theodora's cur. Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve mortal kind. Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous wench, Fond Valancius, watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
Skill tests in dialogues. So yeah, basically I can have a skill test. Flashes of dim light, drops blood appear on your things there. Ooh. I feel a voice. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Fight the voice. Get out! I am not your puppet! The voice in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence forcing you onto your feet and making you take a step forward. The gates looming in the center of the chamber. In the gateway art, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front of the panel. As you approach, the torso twitches gently. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The sentinel turns its head to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. Examine the device. We failed. The servitor at the gate begins to move. With a screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward, close to you. Its lower jaw opens, with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fans that glint in dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. The whispers run through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Vortviger wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, the source coils itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Look for anything that could be a weapon. Nope. Place your hand in the maw. The jaw clamps around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as servo motors start up, and the pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps, if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
Yes! Yes, I do require assistance! Pain shoots through your head and subsides as quickly. It would seem the entity coiled within your conscience does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Oh yeah!
Well, there is still another way.
And I guess we're going into the warrant chamber. And this is
there
the
money
most
to be made?
glorious warrant of trade if my person doesn't talk about making money. Let it be known that by my will, all of this stuff, it's going too quick for me to read, guys. Ooh.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
What madness is happening here? Who addresses me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
I need a weapon.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
Contact somebody, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Voxmaster. Restore communication with Navigator Sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup. Group all available forces here. And head to the upper decks at once. I repeat. Regroup all available forces and head. I was meant to be Theodora.
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Middle and
Lead
upper
me away
decks.
from here.
Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately.
So we've got a journal which tells us quests.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
So let us leave. Seal the warrant chamber. Ah.
Mistress? What? Whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me. What is the meaning of this?
Vortvgir is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of the plan. Holy God, Emperor!
Holy
Oh.
God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Mistress, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Vortvgir openly admitted he was the mastermind.
Saints' blood! And it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, mistress. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
So, we have some gear. There we go. Hang on, let's save before we do anything.
My gut tells me.
I
it's a
don't apparently
bad
have the skills to
idea.
use that. Anyway, guys, that is where we are going to leave it for now. So, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you are enjoying this playthrough. Please do like and subscribe if you are and want to see more. I'm certainly going to be playing lots more of this, guys. You're probably going to get quite a lot of content of this over the next few weeks. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, I do still have to make my other content. Other than that, as always, comments down below. Let me know what you think I'm doing well, what you think I'm not doing well. And as always, an extra special thank you to my channel members and patrons. That's Monsters Abound, Philip F, Nose, Andrew T, Prataru, Brandon, Space Ace 475, Coding Monster, Jason Air, Egg, Scrin, Jared Horn, Good Sir Twisted, and one I've forgotten to put on this one, Newbie One Kenobi, I think it was. I will double check that for next time. Cheers all.